Right now on Eyewitness News, a decision has been made. The future of downtown Hartford comes to a vote. Baseball is on its way. Then this.
Because that was our baby. That's all that mattered, because that was our baby.
A family forever changed after losing one young life. They prepare to say goodbye to another in the wake of a devastating crash. Plus, protecting and serving or kicking back and snoozing. Tonight, a high-ranking police officer accused of catching some Z's on the job.
Now, live, breaking news on Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dennis House. We begin tonight with some breaking news out of the capital city. Just moments ago, the city council voted in favor of plans to build a whole new neighborhood around a ballpark on the fringe of downtown. Channel 3's Jason Fraser spent the night inside that meeting at City Hall, and he's here now. Let's listen in first. This is the city council president, Sean Wooden.
Courageous and visionary vote of this city council tonight, including Councilwoman Jennings here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Jennings, so
Well, I'd just like to thank the mayor, the council, the treasurer, the Rock Cats Center Plan, and everyone who's been involved. This is the first time the unions have come together with municipality, with municipal government, and we've come together on behalf of the residents of this city with the understanding that the residents in this city need jobs and opportunities, and we have a responsibility as council to represent the entire city. So I want to thank everyone involved, development services, everyone who was a part of this tremendous coalition to move our city forward. Thank you.
And right now what you are watching live is city leaders discussing the vote that just came down late tonight.
That was Cynthia Jennings speaking, a city council member, after having voted to pass the Downtown North project, which is a massive development including a brewery, apartments, a ballpark, and more. We will check in with Channel 3's Jason Fraser later in the broadcast, who was there. Now we have some other breaking news coming into our newsroom from the shoreline. I-95 northbound is closed after a trooper-involved shooting after some sort of a motor vehicle stop. It happened right near exit 14. You're looking live at the scene. Exit 14 is the on-ramp to Route 1, and that's where they're diverting traffic. We're told a suspect has been wounded after some sort of an altercation. There are reports that it happened on board a tour bus. Traffic, as you can see, is backed up for miles, so if you're expecting people home tonight, perhaps from Fairfield County or New York City, they may be in this traffic jam for a while. We have a crew heading to the scene. We'll bring you new details as soon as we get them into our newsroom. Back to the city of Hartford now. We have this from the south end. A person has been shot in the chest on Franklin and Parker Streets. There's no word on the search for suspects, but police are out there looking for clues tonight. And there are new developments tonight in a brutal stabbing at Bulkley High School in the south end. 16-year-old Jay Sean Evans has pleaded guilty and will now serve 2.5 years in prison. The stabbing happened in May after some sort of an argument in the school parking lot. After school, police say Evans plunged the knife into the victim's chest and punctured his lung. Victim spent several days in the hospital but did survive. Also all new tonight.
God just had another plan, and sometimes it's hard, but that's where we are.
A horrific crash on I-95 that killed a 3-year-old boy has taken another heartbreaking turn. Tonight, family members tell us the boy's 9-year-old stepsister is on life support after that crash. Channel 3's Matthew Campbell spoke with the family at their home in Meriden tonight.
Well, Dennis, family members say 9-year-old Sanae Robinson is on life support while the family waits to donate her organs. Her stepbrother Dakari's life was taken just a few days ago, and now the family is now preparing to say another difficult goodbye.
She was just so brave at heart, and she loved God. She loved going to church, and she loved hearing the word, and I just cannot understand why.
Family of 9-year-old Sanae and 3-year-old Dakari Robinson are not ready to let go of some of the youngest members of their family.
This is such a tragic moment.
Aunt Gwen Samuel had such high hopes for Sanae, a 3rd grader at Roger Sherman Elementary.
I actually envisioned her being the next congresswoman of the state. She's very well-spoken, extensive vocabulary. She was independent, that is for sure.
Samuel says Sanae is on life support with her family by her side. They're waiting to donate her organs after this violent crash on 95 in Waterford on Sunday. The family says they were coming back from a family friend's home when the car they were in was struck by a tractor trailer. 3-year-old Dakari died at the scene. Even in his very short life, the boy left a big mark.
He loved to play with the basketball. He would love to throw the basketball and hit you and run. Just little things that little kids do that just make you smile.
While the family gets ready to lay 2 of their children to rest, they are pulling for a 3rd victim to recover. 26-year-old Darren Robinson is still in critical condition. The family, with deep roots at the Apostolic Community Church, is holding on to their faith while wondering how much more they can take.
We ask everyone for their prayers for the family, because it's still going to be tough, right? Because it's still a baby, and I don't care how you see this, their children.
A vigil will be held tomorrow night at City Park in Meriden at 6 o'clock. The family is inviting those in the community to come out wearing bright colors in honor of Sine. Donations can be made to the Apostolic Community Church in care of the Leary and Robinson families. Dennis.
Matthew Campbell, thank you for that report tonight. Friends of the family have also set up a GoFundMe page to raise money to pay for the funeral. If you'd like to help, you can log on to our website, and there's a link to the page right there. President Obama is preparing for yet another trip to Connecticut. He'll be in Bridgeport tomorrow to give Governor Malloy's re-election campaign a boost. It's the president's 2nd trip to our state in a week. He was in Greenwich for a fundraiser last week. Republicans were hoping for a visit from New Jersey Governor Chris Christie today, but that appearance had to be canceled at the last minute. We'll have live coverage of the president's trip beginning tomorrow night. Also new tonight, his job is to protect and to serve, but tonight a high-ranking police officer is accused of catching some Z's in his cruiser. A picture surfaced on social media that appears to show a policeman asleep on the job in his car. As Channel 3's Jill Konopka now tells us, an internal investigation is underway.
That's ridiculous. That really is. Cops shouldn't be doing that.
A picture plastered all over Facebook.
Oh, sleeping, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoops.
Is now the talk of the town here in Willimantic.
I hope he's not on duty. I hope he's not, supposed to be checking anything out.
Authorities confirm it is an officer in a Willimantic police car. They were notified around noon today after someone snapped the pic, posted it online, and then passed it along to police.
There's an internal investigation underway. Chief Maruzo Bolduc is fully aware of the situation, and it is in fact being investigated this time. It was within the city. The officer was addressed, and it is in fact being investigated internally.
And while officers look into the matter, many, it seems, have already made up their minds.
What if something happens? What if something happened right in front of him? He wouldn't even notice.
Was it their lunch break or something? Because that's not good. Taxpayer money going to nap time.
They should actually probably be suspended for doing that, because that is a public safety risk.
Tonight, police want the public to know they'll get to the bottom of it, realizing many may be mad.
Understandable. And again, we take internal matters like this extremely seriously, and we are out in front of this. It is being investigated.
I can't sleep while I'm at work and get paid for it.
How about giving the benefit of the doubt? You don't know what happened to him off the clock. He may have had a long night at work, off of work.
I would say so. You never know if you had a rough night the night before doing something. So,
Jill Konopka, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Also all new tonight.
Who would think that we would want this in our backyard? If you want it in your backyard, put it in your yard, but not here in Glastonbury. I yield the rest of my time.
People in Glastonbury are fighting plans for a massive cell phone tower. The proposal calls for the tower to sit right off Griswold Street. Some think it will decrease property values and cause some health dangers. There was no vote tonight on whether that plan, though, will go forward. Now, a Channel 3 exclusive, absolute terror for 2 children home alone in Waterbury after an intruder broke in. It was all caught on surveillance video at the home here on Edge Hill Avenue. The 14 and 8-year-olds had just arrived home from school when the suspect came knocking. When no one answered, the suspect milled around for a bit and then broke in by breaking a window on the door and reaching in to unlock it. The children frantically called their father.
I told him to call 911. I called my brother. I called everybody I can call to get somebody here because I was too far away.
The alarm eventually went off, scaring the intruder away. If you recognize this suspect, you are urged to call Waterbury Police. There's still much more Eyewitness News ahead tonight, thrown into the path of a deadly virus. Tonight, hospital workers in Texas say nothing was done to keep them safe from Ebola. Plus, a nurse accused of doing the unthinkable, killing dozens of patients. The gruesome investigation into what caused her to simply snap.
Mild and muggy now, what may greet you as you head out the door in the morning, and also from flooding concerns and a gusty wind to a drop in temperature. A lot to cover all ahead in the early morning forecast.
Thank you, Mark. Also, you bought it, they lost it. Our series continues with a state agency accused of losing thousands of dollars of equipment. And to top it all off, they're in charge of keeping track of lost stuff statewide. Tonight, the I-Team digs deeper. We'll be right back.
New Dr. Oz.
Tomorrow at 4 on Channel 3, your home for Eyewitness News.
Let's take you back to that breaking news in Norwalk, an absolute traffic nightmare. This is the scene right now on I-95 northbound near the Route 1 exit, that is exit 14. There's apparently been some sort of a trooper-involved shooting in the city of Norwalk, right on the highway. There are some reports that it happened that it involved a tour bus. You're looking at, once again, a live picture we are just getting in from the scene. As you can see, the southbound lane appears to be moving fine. State police are telling us the trooper shot a suspect during some sort of altercation. That suspect is in custody, and we have learned that additional people are injured. We have a crew near the scene. We'll bring you some new information as soon as we get it. Tonight, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say it should have handled the first case of Ebola much differently. This after a nurse who treated that patient developed Ebola. Doctors now say Nina Pham is currently in good condition at Texas Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, where she contracted the virus. But exactly how she got it still remains a mystery tonight. Earlier today, the president of the nurses union said the guidelines were, quote, constantly changing at that hospital. The CDC said today it will send an emergency response team to any hospital in America within hours of a confirmed diagnosis.
I wish we had put a team like this on the ground the day the first patient was diagnosed. That might have prevented this infection.
At last check, health officials were monitoring 76 people who came into contact with this nurse. A terrible story out of Montana where a young boy is dead from a spider bite. Police say 10-year-old Keith Pierce died from an infection brought on by a bite from a brown recluse spider. Now, doctors initially thought the boy had cancer after he went to the hospital for a swollen leg. They ruled that out. Pierce was sent home only to return in pain 2 days later. Doctors performed emergency surgery, but Pierce never woke up from the operation. Well, this one will really send a chill down your spine. You go to the hospital when you're sick and you need to be taken care of. But in one hospital overseas, there are concerns about a killer nurse. Authorities in northern Italy, that is in the city of Lugo, that's in the Emilia-Romagna section, they believe that 42-year-old Daniela Poggiali may have killed up to 38 of her patients and then taken selfies with their bodies. Investigators believe she targeted patients who thought they were either irritating her or whose relatives were, quote, too pushy. Suspicion started growing when a patient died from what appeared to be an injection of potassium chloride. Back here in the U.S., a 10-year-old boy is in prison for murder. Police in Pennsylvania say Kristen Carilla was visiting his grandfather when he killed a 90-year-old woman who lived with the man. The boy apparently choked the woman with her cane before punching her several times in the throat, and she died. Carilla is currently being held as an adult. Nearly 200 passengers aboard an American Airlines jet out of San Francisco had a terrifying scare in the air after their plane simply started coming apart. Here's the video for you. It was shot by a passenger aboard the Boeing 757. They say that they began hearing disturbing noises shortly after the plane took off. Eyewitnesses say the jet, which was headed to Dallas, started shaking violently right before interior panels on both sides of the plane just blew off, and the cabin wall began tearing open.
And all of a sudden, heard this loud pop, 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 really loud, and then ripping sound.
Again, 2293, advise attention. I'd like to clear the active runway.
Luckily, the pilot was able to land the plane safely about 45 minutes after takeoff. But what a flight these folks had to endure. A spokesperson for American says the emergency was caused by a blown air duct. Now, an I-Team investigation for you. You bought it, they lost it. Our series, we now dig into a state agency which lost $61,000 worth of items. And to make matters worse, this agency is the very agency charged with monitoring all sorts of lost stuff statewide. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Parker with what he found.
Over the past month, we've been digging through the records, holding the state accountable for items taxpayers bought that they lost. This week, we wrap up our series with an unusual discovery. The very state agency charged with tracking lost inventory has an inventory problem of its own.
For the past 10 years, the I-Team has been digging through thousands upon thousands of pages of State Form CO 853. It's the way the state accounts for things they can't find. Inventory that's been lost, stolen, destroyed, or just misplaced. The CO in CO 853 stands for Comptroller, the statewide elected office charged with compiling these reports. And that's why it was so surprising to see this particular Form CO 853 addressed to the Comptroller's office from the Comptroller's office. Computers, hard drives, cameras, projectors, even a couple typewriters. All items you bought that they lost. The total tally of missing taxpayer dollars tops 61 grand. A spokeswoman for the office told the I-Team, quote, "The majority of the items were outdated, outmoded, or non-working technology devices. In all cases, the divisions responsible for those items were aware of what happened to the items, but had not followed the proper documentation procedure," unquote. So they claim the items aren't really lost, but the very agency charged with monitoring lost inventory for the state wasn't following inventory procedures. You bought it, they lost it, but they say it was really just a problem with paperwork.
So they created a new form, the CO 67. They say it's been sent to all department heads to make sure the Comptroller's office employees do a better job following the same rules they enforce with everybody else. With the I-Team, Eric Parker, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Now, Channel 3 early warning weather with meteorologist Mark Dixon.
All right, Bruce is off tonight, and across Connecticut, we are just over 3 weeks into the autumn season, but today certainly feeling more like summer across the region. Notice this morning we started off right at the 60-degree mark at Windsor Locks, nearly 20 degrees above what is considered normal for this time of year. Our afternoon high almost to 80, and that's 15 degrees above normal and only 2 degrees away from tying a record set back in 2000. And here in the 11 o'clock hour, temperatures are still more in line with where we should be for highs this time of year. Lower to mid 60s inland, upper 60s along the shoreline. 69, in fact, in New Haven. Also Bridgeport, 64, Hartford, Willimantic, Waterbury, and also right now in Norwich. And those temperatures really are not going to be moving much as we head through the overnight hours. We have a south to southeasterly wind at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's going to go down just a little bit, and we could actually see some patchy fog develop as we start your day tomorrow. So you may encounter that as you step out the door in the morning. Early warning pinpoint Doppler right now. It is scanning clear and dry. That will also be changing, not really in a meaningful way in the next 24 hours, but on Thursday, that's when we could have some substantial rains to deal with and possibly even some embedded thunder. You can see off to our west some rain moving through Pennsylvania, far western New York. That's the leading edge of a potent and slow-moving storm system. In advance of it, we still have those southerly winds. They were cranking today upwards of 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts at one point. Tomorrow, we're expecting the same, and dew point temperatures, they're already in the lower to mid 60s, and that is where they will remain, if not go up a bit. So today it was muggy. Tomorrow it's just going to be downright humid, and we will see that chance for some isolated showers tomorrow as the storm system gets closer. You can see high pressure off the coast, the storm system to our west. Between the two, we get that southerly flow, and then as the system itself moves through on Thursday, that's when we're going to see the chances for heavy downpours, gusty wind, some rumbles of thunder. Then as the system clears out, we're going to see several shots of colder air work in our direction just in time for the upcoming weekend. But at least right now, Saturday, Sunday, looking dry. So our early warning futurecast, tomorrow's weather today starts you off at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're mostly cloudy. See some of those lighter shades of green, maybe an isolated shower or some drizzle out there to start your day. And then as we head through the afternoon, again, maybe a couple of showers. The heaviest of the rain tomorrow stays to our west through Pennsylvania and New York, making its way toward New Jersey by tomorrow evening. Then as we start the day on Thursday, that's when the heaviest of the rain begins to enter western Connecticut. And notice as we move the clock forward another 12 hours, very slow moving here across southern New England, and that's why there are some concerns for flooding. We could see upwards, generally speaking, of 1 to 2 inches of rain on Thursday with even locally higher amounts. Now in the meantime, tonight again, temperatures really not dropping off any more from where we currently stand. We'll say lower to mid 60s to start your day tomorrow, and then by tomorrow afternoon, mid 70s despite mostly cloudy skies and those chances for some isolated showers. That breeze out of the south again is going to supply us with that warm and muggy air mass. Quick check of Gonzalo, now our strongest hurricane so far of the Atlantic season for 2014. Sustained winds up to 125 miles an hour. It is to the north of Puerto Rico and has its sights set on Bermuda as we head into the day on Friday. But it's going to be moving to the northern Atlantic and away from the East Coast. So once we get past Thursday, brighter, drier weather, 69. We drop from the mid-60s on Saturday for highs into the upper 50s on Sunday, upper 50s near 60 with morning lows in the upper 30s and low 40s by early next week.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
We may live in an age where we can get information instantaneously. The thing is, you can get it fast, but if it's not accurate, what good is it? If it's coming from Channel 3, you're in good hands.
Do you have anything to say to that?
So there was equipment in here. We check the facts. That's our responsibility. And that's something that we don't take lightly.
Did you steal the Mustang?
After more than a half a century being the news leader in the state of Connecticut, I think we've earned that trust and we continue to maintain it every day.
Wake up to what's happening. Start your day with Eyewitness News this morning.
Once again, the Hartford City Council, our top story tonight, has approved building a ballpark in a whole new neighborhood in the downtown north section of the city. Exciting times for the city of Hartford tonight. Let's go to Channel 3's Jason Fraser downtown at City Hall with all the details. Jason.
Hey, well, Dennis, you know, this is a very happy moment for the Segarra administration as well as Hartford City Council. However, I can tell you that earlier tonight it was a very contentious meeting as a number of people who opposed this measure had spoken to City Council during a public comment portion of that. Now, the public comment portion of that was only supposed to last for about an hour, but it lasted about 2.5 hours. Now, here's what City Council voted on and agreed upon to pass. They voted on a measure to pass for the redevelopment of not only a ballpark here in downtown Hartford, but also for 15 acres of the downtown north area, which will include 600 apartments, 140,000 square feet of retail space, along with office space, a grocery store, and a brewery. Now, the mayor has said that this will create thousands of jobs, anywhere from 1,800 to 2,000 construction jobs, along with 800 permanent ones, and a total of 1,000 residents are expected to move into downtown. Now, as part of the proposal, though, 20% of those 1,000 people will have to qualify for what they are calling affordable housing. Now, this is not the end for this proposal. When I spoke with the developer, Josh Solomon, he is the owner of the New Britain Rockettes. He told me that there was still a lot to be done, how to decide what the name of the new team will be, along with certain other things like how much money will go towards other types of development. This is a developing story. We will have much more throughout the night on our website at wfsb.com, and we will have much more starting at 4:30 on Eyewitness News this morning. For now, reporting live with the mobile newsroom in downtown Hartford, Jason Fraser, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Jason, thank you very much. Coming up next in sports, the winning streak is at 48. Get to 49, and Sonia will have to beat one of the best teams in the state. Joe Zone, his look at the game everyone is talking about.
Medical Rounds, Wednesday at 5:30 on Eyewitness News.
You never know where the Liberty Bank Surprise Squad will strike next, but we're always on wfsb.com. Yay! Nominate someone you know and see your favorite surprises again.
No way!
The Liberty Bank Surprise Squad, only on Eyewitness News.
Now, Joe Zone with Eyewitness Sports.
What do you expect the atmosphere to be like that night?
Yeah, I expect it to be crazy.
What do you anticipate the atmosphere will be like Friday?
Very crazy.
Now, there's something both sides can agree on. They didn't want to talk about this game a month ago, even though they knew it was coming up. And Sonia, undefeated, ranked number 3 in the state. Newtown, undefeated, ranked number 7 in the state. There were other games to be played first. The other games have been played, and here we are. The showdown is Friday night, and oh, by the way, Sonia is going for its 49th win in a row. That would tie Cheshire's streak for longest ever in Connecticut. John Holt was at both practices today.
Definitely a special buzz to it, and there should be. You know, we've spent a lot of time talking about how we didn't want to talk about the streak, and we're not dumb. It's here. It's something that our kids have accomplished to put themselves in that position. So it's going to be a special night.
What are the things that are going to be the formula for success?
Definitely on offense to play fast, because a lot of their players play two ways, so we want to tire them out, and we have a lot of different plays this week that we haven't really shown in the last weeks that we think that will help us out.
They have a lot of speed that's going to cause some problems for us, and it causes some problems for other teams that they play as well. So you can get a hole fast, and we're going to try and contain that.
This is what we're supposed to have to do if we want a chance to reach that milestone, a record that you never thought would be broken in Connecticut sports. We had such great respect for what Cheshire did, and Newtown, probably arguably has the best senior class in Connecticut football this year. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
The game is 7 o'clock Friday night in Newtown. It'll be standing room only, and we will be all over it. Well, it's a bounce-back week at Yale after opening the season with 3 straight wins, including here week 2 against Army. Yale lost its first game last week. Dartmouth came from behind to beat them 38-31. Head coach Tony Reno says it's the toughest loss he's ever had. So this week they hope to take it out on Colgate.
They're looking in the guys in their eye on Sunday. I could see there was a little bit of a burn in their stomach, where they felt like they might have let one slip away, and that's what you want. I mean, if you want them to be a little upset after this one and let it go and now get ready for Colgate.
All right, to the baseball playoffs as I'm wrapping up. Kansas City and San Francisco. They've won their games. That's sports. I'm Joe Zone. We're wrapping fast tonight.
We are, certainly are. Joe, Mark, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.